Okay, I'm wearing a respirator, so if I sound strange, that's why. But Cameron, we glued these puzzles together yesterday. The one he's doing right now, the QR code, is a cardboard puzzle, and the other one is a wood puzzle by Nautilus Puzzles out of Northern California. I think we got this one, the QR code, on Amazon. Cameron is using Total Boat tabletop epoxy, part 1 and 2, equal parts, 1-to-1. He has leveled and shimmed this puzzle as much as possible. We found that the plywood that it's mounted to, which is 1/4-inch plywood, was slightly warped. He was worried about basically the epoxy being too thin and running off, but it doesn't look like that's happening. So I know he's done some things to stabilize it. So we're gonna see how this works, but it looks pretty gooey, like it's gonna stick better. So now he's spreading it. And is it self-leveling?
I don't know. I think it is, since it's the tabletop, but
Okay, because there are grooves in that spreader, so.
yeah.
Okay, so he's wearing a respirator too. So I know it looked like a lot of epoxy. It's about 9 ounces, maybe 10, but it doesn't look like it's going to be too much. And so he also pre-nailed the hanging hardware so that when this is solidified tomorrow, we don't have to risk any cracking or damage by installing hardware on it. So that's all finished. It's looking pretty good. I don't think it's going to run off as much as we thought it would. We haven't used the tabletop epoxy before. We've used another Total Boat epoxy product that I think Cameron said is like 5-to-1 ratio. So it's our first time using this one, and he thought it would be thinner and more runny, but it looks pretty good. So that's nice. Got a little drip on that edge. He put a silicone mat on top of the plastic. I was worried about the heat eating through the thin plastic sheeting we have over the counter and having some permanent addition to our countertop. So, but that's looking good. It looks kind of bumpy over here.
Okay.
Did you pour it all out?
Yep.
Okay. I don't think it has reached completely the edge, honey, around the perimeter on this corner.
Okay.
You're missing.
That's why I was working my way around.
What's the working time on this?
It's like 45 minutes or so.
Okay. Do you realize you're lifting up on the spreader as you hit the?
Yeah, I'm trying to not push it like off. I'm just trying to get it
it's
to
not
the edge.
reaching all the way though.
Okay. Well,
So
I'll keep working it because I'm trying to get it spread out everywhere.
All right. I just didn't know if you could see it from that angle. Yeah. Okay. So what we're hoping for is a very glossy glass-like finish that's very durable in the end and even. And so next we'll have to blow the bubbles out with the torch. Are you coming all the way to the end?
Yes. Do you see it running over the edge?
In some areas, but not in all of them. But you don't want to thin it out too much either.
I know.
like scrape too much product off.
I know, which...
Okay, I think you're good. Got a lot of bubbles, but let's go ahead and torch those. Because I think you're starting to scrape too much off, because I can start to see.
Well, remember, it's not very flat either, so chances are it's gonna have some issues.
All right, so this is butane, right?
Yeah.
Some fire.
Plan on going over it more than once, so I know I might miss some bubbles the first time.
Okay. So for people who don't know, we have learned that the butane torch needs to be moving constantly, and some people use propane too because it's less expensive, and I guess it works just as well. We haven't tried propane yet, so we're using butane, and you just have to keep it moving constantly. Don't stop anywhere. And the little bubbles that form in the epoxy get basically popped by the heat. What did you say the working time is on this epoxy?
It's at least 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's a long time. We're used to having to move a lot faster than that. Okay. Oh, that's looking nice and glassy. So this is the cardboard one. We chose to do one of each so that we could learn from them and then move on to, we have a bunch of other puzzles in the queue that we've had sitting around saying that we're going to go ahead and mount them for years, actually. There's a big bubble over here. Do you see it?
I don't think that's a bubble. That's something else.
Okay. That's better. Go ahead and torch that. I don't think you hit that area.
You did.
Okay. I think that's going to look really nice, honey. All right. So now we're going to have to move on to the next one, but he's got to remix epoxy. So we'll be back. Okay, we're back, and now we're doing a pour on a smaller but wood puzzle. Again, this was sealed yesterday with puzzle glue by Mod Podge. We have been, learning about this process, and everybody says it really depends on the quality of the puzzle, and of course cardboard is going to have more like sensitivity to moisture. So we sealed them with the Mod Podge so that the resin doesn't create basically black lines where all the different pieces are. But this is a wood puzzle, and it's by a company called Nautilus, And they buy, or they license, I should say, a lot of different art and then project it onto wood, and then they're laser cut. We could actually make puzzles if we wanted to on our laser, but these are puzzles that we bought years ago, put them together, swearing that we would go ahead and mount them, but we never got to it because, as you know, we are in constant, oh, let's do this. I mean, it's really mostly my husband's fault because he likes to do lots of Okay, I'm not going to get away with that here. Yes, I effervesce with ideas and other things fall by the wayside, so I'm sure it is mostly my fault that we haven't gotten this done. But he raised this as something we should do this weekend, and I was in full agreement that we should go ahead and, do this. Are you scraping that, like, hard against the puzzle?
No, it's sliding on the puzzle. It's just the plastic, and it's all covered in the Mod Podge, so it's all right.
But shouldn't you be, like, not touching the puzzle at this point, but gliding across the...
You can touch, that's what these notches are for, to allow you to touch, but still allows epoxy through the notches.
Okay. So anyway, here we are. We are starting our puzzles. And in like fashion, I wanted to glue all of them up this weekend and get them going, but Cameron, who is the very deliberate engineer, said, no, we need to do one of each and see how they work out, because if there's something wrong with our process, we need to identify what that is before we do them all, which is the most prudent way to approach this. But I don't always tend to be the most prudent person. I like to get things done. And then it's aim, shoot, or shoot, aim, ready, something like that. But with Cameron at the helm, I'm not going to get away with that. I think you've got it all over.
I do. I'm just kind of trying to make sure it's even as much as I can. I'm about to stop and torch it.
All right. Well, I see some dust on the other one that I need to pick out, so I hope you get to that quickly here.
Okay. Well. Sorry if that's in your way.
No, you're all right. Right. I think you can see, yes, try to get the right angle, but I could see some of the bubbles popping. I don't know that you're going to be able to see it on the video. There we go, a little bit. But that's the process. Then we're going to cover it and wait until tomorrow. But don't worry, there's some other projects we have for the rest of the day. Okay, it's 24 hours later. We've had the epoxy covered, and it's time to see what we got. As you can see, this is a very messy craft. It feels hard. Honey, do you want to hold this? So isn't that nice? That's a great way to preserve a puzzle. Let's see this one. It's very nice. It looks like, well, it looks like it's encased in acrylic. So we have the tape around it for the drips in the back. You can see the hardware, hanging hardware is already there. So I think we're good to go. Next. Okay, on closer examination, I think you remember me saying that we were sealing this stuff up with Mod Podge so that on the cardboard particularly, you didn't have the seepage that could affect the way the color, sorry, there's light shining there. You can see where moisture got through. I guess, yeah, he's saying the epoxy is what did that. So, because we did do 2 coats of glue on this, not all the edges, some of the edges, most of the edges look pretty good. You have that little spot there and here. So, but not too bad all in all. So for a first go at that on a cardboard puzzle, we know that we've just got to really saturate those edges and let the glue drip over. In fact, I'm wondering if we should glue the edges, like the sides, you know, the profile, to seal that up too, you know. So, but we'd like to try to keep it real. On the wood puzzle, again, your quality level of your puzzle and the materials used, the wood is going to be more stable than paper, cardboard, and we don't have any of that on the wood puzzle. So that's also something to know. You know, a lot more glue for the paper or cardboard and probably 1 coat, because I only did 1 coat on the butterflies. There was a thick coat, but that's how I apply paint and glue. So, all right. So on to the next ones.